In this video topic, we'll create our layouts for headless application like list layout, create layout, and edit layout. As you know from last two videos, now we have all about the basics concept of React application that we need to go with this headless application. So what I will do, instead of going with our existing React application, now let's create a one more setup of React from scratch, and inside that setup, I will install first Tailwind CSS, and then step by step we'll create all these layouts. Before going further, I only request you to please hit the like button to give us a thumbs up to this interesting course, and please do subscribe so that I will be creating such type of amazing and interesting courses for you. So I will go to browser first. Here I am inside v.dev. Click on get started. Then I will scroll. So here we have the npm command. So simply I will copy that is npm create @latest. Then I'll go inside project terminal. So right now inside this our first existing application, that is React.js-app-1. So what I will do, I'll go one folder back, and then here simply I will type that command called npm create @latest. Hit enter. Now it is asking about our project name. So I will say, like let's say React-WP-app, hit enter. Now it is asking about framework. So I will choose React, then variant. So JavaScript. Now everything has been done. Only we have to execute some commands that it has suggested. That first we have to go into our downloaded folder called React-WP-app. Inside that setup, then we have to install our node dependencies by executing npm install. So simply cd React WP app, what we had installed, and inside it, let's execute npm install. Hit enter. So we need to wait for a while because right now it is installing all the node dependencies inside our project application. So successfully, it has installed 249 packages into our project application. So what next? Simply I will go into this folder and I will type npm run dev. Hit enter. And now we can see that our application started. So I will just press Ctrl and click on this localhost link. And if I go here, and now we can see that successfully we have installed one more setup of React application using Vite into our local system. So what next? Also, I would like to install Tailwind CSS so that by using this CSS library, I'll create our layouts like list layout, create layout, and edit layout. Now here, I will open this setup into a VS Code editor. So simply, I will go into project terminal. Let's stop first. So Control C. Then I will here type code dot to open this current setup into a VS Code editor. So successfully we have opened. Now next we need to install our Tailwind CSS package. So what I will do, let's go back to browser. Then I will go to this website called tailwindcss.com. Now once you go here, click on the search icon, and simply if I type React here, then we can see a link that is install Tailwind CSS with create React app. Just click into it, click on Vite, and now here we have few lines of command that we need to execute into a React application so that this package will be successfully gets installed. So what I will do, I will go and copy this first command called npm install -t Tailwind CSS, post CSS, and auto prefixer. So simply let's copy, go into project terminal, and then here just type hit enter. So successfully, it has added 89 packages into our application. Now next, let's go back to website, copy this second command called npx Tailwind css init-p. Let's copy, go here, and if I type hit enter, and now we can see that it has created two config files, that is tailwind.config.js, and here will we have the second file called postcss.config.js. So what next? Then I will go here. Let's copy this complete code of tailwind.config.js. Click on this icon to copy. So all the code gets copied. Let's go back to editor. Then I will open tailwind.config.js, remove existing code, and paste this updated code. Save these changes, again go back to website. Then here we have three lines of code which we have to paste inside index.css. Let's copy, Go here, then I will go into this src folder. Let's open index.css, remove all these existing CSS and paste those lines. So successfully, now everything has been completed to install and work with Tailwind CSS. So how to test? Simply, if I go here, here we have some lines of like HTML element with the classes of Tailwind. So I will just copy. Let's go and open our app.jsx file. Let's remove all these existing code. And if I paste this h1 with hello world message, and also here we have the classes of Tailwind. So once this will be completed, let's go here and simply start development server. So npm run dev started. So if I go back to browser, let's go here, and now we can see that hello world is coming and the CSS is coming from Tailwind. So successfully, now the setup process has been completed and the installation of library is also completed. So what next? Now we want the layouts integration, or to create new layouts for our headless application, that is list layout, create layout and edit layout. So to create all these layouts, next we have to go into a GitHub repository. So this is our GitHub repository called github.com/OWT hub. Click on this repositories. Then here we have to go inside this tailwind-spa-layout. Click on this link. Now here we can see that here we have a file called template.html inside this GitHub repository. So what next? If I will open this HTML file, so we can see that inside this template.html, here we have a CDN link of Tailwind package, and also here we have some piece of code. This is the code of list layout. Then if I scroll, here we have a model, that is add post model, which is containing some form input fields. And also if I scroll, now it is containing also the layout of edit post model. So step by step, this layout will be integrated into a React application. So from where we can start? So I will go first into our application. Let's close all these files. Then I will go into this src folder. I'll create a folder called components. Inside this components folder, then again I will create one more subfolder called post. And inside this folder, let's create a file, and this file will be known as something called post list.jsx. Then I will go into this file. Let's say const post list, and inside this function, let's say return fragment symbol, and here let's say return, not return, it will be export default and post list. Let's go inside this return statement, and for the time being, if I type s3 tag, let's say list post layout, save these changes, then I will go into this app.jsx file. Let's remove this state line of code, and also I don't want this app.css and all these things. Now here I will import our post list layout. Once it will be imported, let's copy, go inside this return statement, remove this HTML like hello world, and simply call that component. Successfully save. If I go here, and now we can see that list post layout. Next, after this, then I will go into this GitHub repository, and at the top of this HTML file, simply I will copy from this starting, or before that, let's copy this whole file. So click on this icon. Now all the code now gets copied. Let's go to editor, open a new tab, and just paste here. Now inside this HTML file, if I scroll go up, so here we have a div tag, and inside this div tag, now we can see that all this complete code, here we have a table tag, then here we have add post model, and also here we have edit post model. So for the time being, what I will do, I will copy only this table, or even before that, let's copy this div, means container div. Then I will go into this post list. Let's remove this h3 element and just paste here. So inside this div tag, what next? I'll then copy all these code up to this table tag. Let's press Ctrl X to cut all these code. Then I'll go here and paste here. Now next we can see that here we have some errors. So step by step we need to fix. So first I will remove all these comment lines of HTML. So this is now removed. Now here This is also now removed. One more thing, let's do some formatting. So if I go and let's add some indent here and indent it too. So successfully now what next? If I go into this layout, what we just copied and pasted here, so we can see that here we have used class. But as I told inside basics concept of React that class is a keyword, so we have to use class name. So what next? Let's copy this class keyword, simply press Ctrl H, it will open like search and replace. So we are searching this class and we want to replace with this class name keyword. So once we put the values of this search keyword and the replace keyword, click on this icon. Now successfully we have replaced our class keyword with class name. So once we do this basic thing, let's go inside this table tag. Then I will do some indent with this t head and t body simply by pressing our tab button. Then I will go into this t body and into this T body, here we have some error inside this image tag. We can see red colored error. And one more thing, as I told inside basics class that this is not a complete HTML and also this is not a complete JavaScript. So this is a JSX file which is something in between these two things. So this tag like image tag should be closed. So here let's add a forward slash. And one more thing, like inside this HTML, what we had just copied, it is containing also some events we can see on click. So let's remove. Then I will go and I'm pressing Alt Z to word wrap. So let's go up and also we can see that it is also containing on click event on this add post button. Let's remove. And also we don't want any style like inline style into this HTML. So also we can see that here we have some style tag. So let's remove. Now save these changes. So once we save, let's go back to browser, go into application, and now we can see that this is our complete layout of list post layout. Now by the help of this layout, actually we render all our WordPress post and bind with this layout. So if I go into a console, like inspect here, go to console, and if I reload, and now we can see that inside this console tab, here we don't have any error. Instead, we have only a single error, that is this image is not found. Obviously, this image is coming from a link and this link does not exist, but we'll fix it later. But for the time being, our list layout is now ready. So what next? Now next we have to add our add post model. So for that, I'll create a separate component. So let's go into our src folder, components folder, post folder, and into this folder, I will create one more subfolder into it called model. And into this model folder, let's go inside it, add a new file called add post model.jsx. Then I will go into it. So const add post model arrow function return here fragment export default, and here let's add post model. Then I will go into the return statement. First I will go into this HTML. Let's cut all these things. So I am just cutting it and pasting inside this return statement. So once we paste all these things like all this HTML of add post model, so step by step we have to fix this layout as well. So first I will go and close this div tag. Let's indent. Let's open the second div tag, and here we can see some comment lines. So let's remove first. So I have removed. Also here we have some example categories like comment line. Let's remove. Let's remove this too. Also we want to remove this one. And at last, here we have some events attached. So let's remove this on click. And if I search for inline CSS next, so okay, if I press style, and now we can see that inside this add post model, now here we don't have any comment lines, we don't have any error inside our tag, as well as we don't have any events and style attribute. So successfully now this layout has been also fixed to create our add post model. So what I will do, I will go into this post list.jsx file. So I will use this component file inside this component. So here Let's go and first import. So at the top of it, let's say import add post model. So successfully, this component is coming from model folder and add post model file. So let's copy and then I will go here. After this table tag, let's create our add post model. Now successfully, this layout should be automatically gets implemented inside this post list. Save these changes. If I go and now you can see that, let's close this. Now you can see that here we have the model that is add new post. So what basically we want that whenever if I click on this add post button, right now it is in background. So when I click on this add post button, so this model will be visible. Otherwise, this model will be hidden. So for that, I'll use the concept of state management. So let's go at the top of this and before this return, next after this const keyword, add a symbol our state variable. So let's call it as add post model flag and also the method name to manage a state. So I will call it as set add post model flag then equals to use state and the initial value of this state variable equals to false. So what next? Let's copy this state variable. So before loading this add post model, now let's use an expression. So if the value of this flag is equals to true, so in that case only this model is going to load into this component file. So successfully, if I save these changes, and now you can see that that model called add post model now automatically gets hidden. So what next? So as we know that this is the button, by the help of that we need to open our add post model. So what we have to do, let's go inside this add post button and here I'll go and wrap on click event and here let's say open or simply I will call it as toggle add post model. Now this is a function. So let's copy this function. Then I will go here. Let's say const function arrow function and the thing is we have to do right here inside this function that by using this our set method only we have to change the boolean value of this state variable. So let's copy and simply let's add exclamation sign so that on click of this button just we have to toggle from this false value to true value. So once it will be true, like this variable will be true, so automatically this model is going to visible. Save these changes. So if I go here, let's click on this add post and now you can see that now successfully the model has been opened. One more thing also we have to handle. So whenever if I click on this cancel button, this model is going to close. So what I will do, let's go to editor and I will go inside this add post model. Here we have a close button like cancel button. So inside this cancel button, I will go to add like on click event. And now next inside this on click event, simply we have to pass a function name and that function is simply going to toggle that state variable which is managing our add post model. So let's go into this post list and as we know that this component file or this component we are calling right here inside this post list. So what I will do, I will pass this function because this function is going to toggle that state variable. So this function as a prop to this component. So here, let's say handle close event equals to curly pairs and the function name. So what next? This is a property. This is a prop to this component file. So I will simply go here inside this parenthesis, let's destructure. So this is our event name. This is a function name. So let's copy. Then I will go here and use inside this on click. So this is a property. As we can see that this is a property what we are passing inside this add post model, but this property is containing a function here. And this function is simply is toggling our state variable. Next, if I save all these changes, let's go back to browser. So inside this layout, if I click on this add post, now you can see that our add post model is now opening. Let's click on this cancel button and now this model has been closed. So successfully, now we have handled the cases of open and close in the case of add post model. Now in same pattern, we have to work over edit post model. So what basically we want that whenever if any post like this edit button will be clicked, we have to open edit model with existing data, and once we click cancel button, our edit model should be closed. Let's go back to editor. So inside this HTML, now here we have the layout or the HTML code of edit post model. So what I will do, I will go inside this components folder, post folder, model folder, and inside this model folder, let's create one more model, and it will be edit post model.jsx. And here, let's say const edit post model, our arrow function, return. Then I'll go here, export default, and let's call it as edit post model. So first I will go into this HTML, then I will copy all these code. Let's go here and paste inside this return statement. So what next? Let's do some formatting here. Save these changes. Let's open this div tag. So first I will go and remove this unnecessary our comment lines of HTML. Then inside this form tag, let's check one by one about each element. Here we can see example category. If I go and open this text area, let's open this div tag. It's okay, but here inside this image tag means okay, it's added a forward slash here. It's okay for this. Now let's open. Now it is also okay, and successfully inside this button, we can see that here we have on click event. So let's remove first. Go inside the second button tag. Now it is okay. So successfully, if I check one more time about this HTML, so we don't have any inline like our comment lines. Also, if I search for this style attribute, so yes, we have inside this image tag. So let's remove, because inside our coming lectures, this CSS will be handled by our class-based concept, like we'll create some basic classes inside our separate files, and those classes I will add inside these elements. So here, now everything has been completed for this edit post model. So if I save these changes, let's go inside this post list.jsx. Now here, simply import edit post model successfully imported. If I copy, let's go at the bottom, and after this expression, simply if I use called edit post model, save these changes, and now you can see that successfully we can see that our edit post model is opening. But this model, we want that whenever if I click on this edit button, this model will be visible, and when I click on this cancel button, this model will be hidden. So how to handle? Let's go to editor. So first I'll create one more state variable. So here, let's say const, it will be, let's say, add post model flag, set edit post model flag, and the initial value use state equals to false. Let's copy this state variable. If I go at the bottom, now after this expression, let's add one more expression. So if this state variable will be true, so in that case only we want to open this edit post model, save these changes. If I go, and now you can see that our model is now hidden. So we want that that model should be open whenever if I click on this edit button. It means we have to handle the on click event of this edit button. Let's go to editor. So if I search for edit button, so this is our T head which is containing an actions column, and inside this actions, hopefully at the last TD we can see our edit button. So simply let's wrap or add on click event, and here let's say handle, or simply we can see like toggle edit post model. Let's copy this function name. Then I will go here, say const function name, and here set edit post model, and simply we have to toggle our state variable called edit post model flag. Save these changes. So if I go, let's reload. Now if I click on this add post, it is working. Now let's click on this edit button and now you can see that it is also working. Now we have to handle for this cancel button. So simply what I will do, let's copy this function name. Then I will go to this model like component file and here let's say handle close event. I will simply pass as a prop this function name. Then I will copy this property. Let's go inside this edit post model. So first we have to receive a property. So destructure. Then I will go and search for cancel button. So here it is. Now let's add on click event and this is our function name. Save these changes. So if I go, let's press cancel. It is working. If I hard reload, add post, opening, closing, edit button, it is opening and closing. So successfully, now here we have a rough layout of headless application that is all about list post layout. Here we have add post model. So by the help of this model and its form input fields, we create post inside WordPress by using its APIs. And also, if I want to update existing data, so by the help of this edit model and its form data, whenever if I click on this update button, it will update our existing data inside WordPress database. So successfully, here we have all the needed layouts that what basically we want inside our headless application. Now hopefully in the next video, one more enhancement we'll do inside this layout, and that is all about that how to convert a simplest text area into a rich text area. It means into a CK editor. So yes friends, inside our next video, I'll use a plugin of Node that is CK editor. So once we install CK editor plugin by using npm, automatically this simplest text area will be converted into rich text area. That is all about something called CK editor. Now let's meet to next amazing video. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.